What if I told you there was one thing that if you did it, it could substantially hurt your shop? Well, there is one thing that if you do it could substantially hurt your shop. There's actually a couple of things. That's what I want to talk about in today's episode. Let's go. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. Glad to be back with you guys as usual. I'm LL, your host and your humble guide through your Etsy journey, here to help you and give you tips and resources and all that good stuff to help you progress and move in the direction that you want to move with your shop. Get more sales, get more revenue, save time, save frustrations. That is my goal for you guys. And I'm back with another really good episode for you to help continue on that path with you. This episode is all about the main thing that shops do that can significantly hurt them. I got a couple of tips for you on this topic, but I want to dive into the number one thing, or what I think is the number one thing that you can do that can really set your shop back. And that is putting your shop on vacation mode. Now, it may seem like a great feature. It may seem like something that's super easy to do. With one click of a button, you could simply put your shop on vacation mode and not have to worry about sales coming in that you cannot fulfill if you're going to be gone on vacation for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or 1 week, whatever the case may be. You don't want to have to worry about your shop. And of course, you don't want to be still selling stuff. So vacation mode may seem like a really good option for you to do in order to pause things until you come back. Well, the problem with vacation mode, and what a lot of people don't realize about vacation mode because they don't understand kind of the idiosyncrasies of what it does, is vacation mode literally takes all of your listings that are ranking or not ranking, or so wherever they're at in the stratosphere of Etsy. They will take all of your listings and pull them out of search, pull them out so no one can see them, take them out of search. Now they're still in your shop. They're still technically, I don't want to say that they're active, but they're still in your shop. Vacation mode basically just pulls them out of search so no one can find them, no one can click on them, no one can, of course, buy them. But you don't have to do anything other than hit the vacation mode button. You don't have to deactivate your listings or anything like that. They just won't show up for people in search. But what that means and what that does is, since they're not showing in search, you're losing all that momentum you had with your listings. You're losing that ranking. You're losing all the back end data that you've had, that you've built on with those listings. So when you come back and you turn that button on, what you're usually going to see is a huge slowdown with visits, with sales, with clicks, all that stuff. You're going to see a slowdown because what it did was it took all that stuff out of search and all that momentum that you had. And then when you come back, it's got to put it back into search, but that's not instant. That's not instant because a lot of people don't realize that you're just one small part of Etsy, one small seller. And not to make you feel small, but you are small in regard to there's millions of sellers out there, millions of buyers out there, millions, if not billions, of listings now. So your listings, when they're pulled out of their placement, their placeholder, they have to get back in there, and it takes time. It takes all the time and the effort and stuff that you put in originally to get them where they're at. It's got to get back to that point, and it's not going to be instant. You can't just Etsy just can't put you back where you exactly were because there's so many variables, there's so many moving parts. In that time that you were gone, there's tons of new listings, there's tons of changes with existing listings and rankings of listings and all that stuff. So it's impossible to expect them to put you back exactly where you were. Now they're gonna push to get you similarly where you were, as far as using the past results of those listings to help you rank and help you get close to where you were, or even better. But there's a time element that's at play. So what vacation mode really does is it really sets you back from the time that you're on vacation 2 weeks and months of getting back from vacation and turning that stuff on. So that's really what it comes down to with vacation mode, and that's why it can be so harmful to do, even though it seems like a great feature to be able to take advantage of, to be able to just pause your shop. There are implications when you come back. If you're willing to accept those and take that risk and accept a little bit of a downturn, so be it. And you may get back to where you were or even better. You just have to understand there is usually going to be a time lapse. So that's why I don't prefer to use vacation mode, because I don't want to see any type of downturn, especially if I'm already taking off for vacation. I don't want to have to come back and see things slow for a period of time. Now you're probably asking, well, what do I do then? I'm going on vacation. I can't have people buying stuff that I can't fulfill in a timely fashion. Well, there are a couple of alternatives that I want to dive into to help you out with this, because this is a struggle that a lot of people have. But there are some solutions, albeit they're not perfect solutions. But is there ever a perfect solution? There's always pros and cons. You got to figure out what works best for you, how you want to do it. At the end of the day, this is your business. You pick what you think's best for your business. But I'm going to give you some tips and some solutions that maybe you want to take advantage of. All right, so the first thing that you can do if you're going on vacation for a period of time, you can actually go in and just deactivate all of your listings. Deactivate them all. It basically takes them out of search. It takes them out of your shop as active. And then when you come back, you can reactivate those listings. Now, really, this isn't an ideal solution because you have to pay to relist those 20 cents each. And you're kind of doing the same thing. You're taking them out of search. So when you activate them again, it's going to take time for the algorithm to place them back into search to rank them where they were. It will use the previous data on the listing. So it's not a great solution. I'm just offering it to you because I want you to have all the info out there as far as solutions go. I don't really think that is very viable, but that is one way to do it. And something that you can do rather than vacation mode. The other thing that you can do is change your processing times. This is probably the best solution that I've found, although it's not ideal either, because you're changing your processing time. So maybe your normal processing times is 3 to 5 days. You're going to be on vacation for a week. Maybe you change your processing times to 1 to 2 weeks. So people, when they order, they're not going to expect to get their listing. Etsy will tell them that the shipping time, delivery time is 1 to 2 weeks out. Now, it's not ideal because people won't realize that. They won't read that, and they're still going to complain if they don't get the item in time, or maybe they need it quicker and they don't realize. So you may get some complaints. You may get some unhappy customers, but at the end of the day, you're protected because your processing times are correct and you're abiding by those processing times. The other thing with that is when you come back from vacation, you're going to have a boatload of orders, well, hopefully, to fulfill, because they're all going to need fulfilled within that set processing time. So that's probably the best thing I do as far as if I want to go on vacation. I just change those processing times so people can still order. I just know that there is going to be a customer service element with that, letting people know, hey, it's not going to ship out anytime soon if they ask you. Otherwise, Etsy will take care of that on the front end with putting the estimated shipping times before they order so that they know. And on the back end, they may reach out to you because it hasn't shipped yet, not realizing. So you may have some cleanup there. But overall, I think this is probably the best solution that I've found as far as vacation. The other last and final solution why this probably isn't really viable for a lot of you guys, but you can delegate someone. Maybe you have someone helping you with your shop already, or you have a close friend that understands what you do and they could do it for you. If the stuff's already made, they would just ship it, print labels. Obviously, if you're the artist, you're the person making the stuff, you can't have someone, you can't really delegate that because you're the special sauce in there. So you wouldn't want to be like, okay, try and paint this picture for my customers. That wouldn't work too good. So that may be viable for some of you. For probably the majority of you guys, it's not really that viable. So not an easy thing to overcome, because of course you need to go on vacation. I want you guys to go on vacation. I certainly go on vacation. I need a freaking break every now and again. Everyone needs that. So there's things that you can do to kind of alleviate some of the problems that come with going on vacation. But those are kind of some solutions for you. That's kind of the why behind the why, as far as why I wouldn't suggest doing vacation mode. Um, Now, if you're a shop that's just starting out, I should have prefaced this earlier, and you don't get a ton of sales, vacation mode's probably fine for you to do. This one time, it's not really going to harm you too much. It's not going to set you back too much because you don't have a lot of momentum built yet. But if you're already an established shop, if you're selling full time, you're getting sales every day, it's probably something that I wouldn't recommend. And I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. All right, so I'm going to leave you with a couple of other harmful things that I see shops do to kind of piggyback on that first one, just so you guys know and can avoid these things. And then we'll wrap things up. But so the other harmful thing that I wanted to mention is high shipping costs. This is something that people do a lot of times. They have inflated shipping costs, especially people coming from eBay. I see it a lot where that's just a common thing on eBay. You have a low selling cost, high shipping costs. I would reverse that with Etsy. Work in some of that shipping cost with the product price, and lower your shipping costs as much as possible. People don't mind paying for shipping as long as you're not gouging them. So even if you can make it a couple of dollars cheaper than it actually costs to print the label, work that into your sales price. Even it out that way, just so the shipping looks not as high. Because the worst thing that happens is people go to buy something and then they see this big shipping cost tacked on. People don't like that. It doesn't have to be free. People always think that it has to be free shipping. No, you can charge shipping. Just make sure that it's not outrageous, that you're not gouging them. People will pay a couple of bucks, no problem. So keep that in mind. Long processing times is another thing that people do. Now, I understand, depending on what you sell, if it's made to order and it takes a long time, especially if it's custom, people understand that. People expect that. But if you're selling stuff that doesn't take that long to make, or it's already made, your processing time should be quick. 1 to 2 days, 3 to 5 days is usually a good time frame for processing times. If it's something that's routinely quick and you have 1 to 2 weeks, I mean, that's craziness. People don't want to wait that long. They will not order from you if your processing times are that high. So keep that in mind when you're setting your processing times. Think about what you're making. You may have to speed things up on your end just to give a better customer service, even though maybe you don't want to make stuff that fast. You can make it usually faster, depending on what it is. So think about that before you're listing your stuff, because people will see that when they go to checkout. They'll see the expected delivery date, and Etsy already works in a buffer there. So they take their processing times into account. They take the extra shipping time frames into account. So that can be pushed out pretty far. So that's why I would err on the side of lower processing times and make sure that, of course, you're abiding by them, because if people are getting their stuff late, that's the number one way to get bad reviews, slow shipping times. So make sure your processing times are accurate and as quick as possible. All right, the last one's kind of a twofer. These are kind of lumped together, but slow communication and slow shipping, which I already mentioned. So this will lead to bad reviews. So make sure you're fast, quickly responding to communication, to messages, especially if it's from an existing customer. Across the board, you should be responding fast, because it just looks good. It helps people trust you and want to buy from you. But if someone's already bought from you, make sure you're communicating fast, because if they don't get a message back, they're going to get upset pretty fast. And then, of course, slow communication, slow shipping leads to bad reviews, and the bad reviews are the last and final thing that is harmful to your shop. There's nothing worse than bad reviews on your shop, because customers see that. We are in a review-driven society. Everyone looks at reviews for everything. So you do not want to get bad reviews if possible. Will you get bad reviews? Of course you'll get bad reviews. There's going to be people out there that you absolutely can't please. People out there that are mad at the world and they just want to see the world burn, so to speak. We can't avoid that. But overall, 99.9% of people will give you a good review if you're delivering on your promise, delivering a good product, delivering good customer service. So don't worry about the the meanies out there that is going to inevitably give you that 1-star review. If you haven't gotten one yet, it's coming. Wait for it, embrace it, and then move on with your life. So many people get so stuck on the first 1-star review. They're posting it in forums or spending hours fretting upon it. Move on. That person sucks. Move on with your life. You know that you have a good product. You know that you offer good service. So pay attention to your future customers. Pay attention to your future 5-star review people. That you'll bury that 1-star soon enough, but just make sure that you are consistently getting those good reviews and doing what you should be doing as far as delivering on your promise, and you have nothing to worry about. I've gotten a handful of 1-star reviews. I shake it off. Yeah, it hurts. It stings, but you got to shake it off and move on. That's the only option to do. But that is it, guys. Those are a couple of the things that I see hurt shops. Some solutions in there for you guys to help you out so that you are not making those same mistakes. And of course, if you guys are avid listeners of the podcast, of the YouTube channel, I'd appreciate a review, a comment, feedback, whatever you want to do there. It helps me reach more people like you, help more people like you, and really serve the Etsy and handmade community, which I want to continue to do in a big way. So I'd really appreciate 5-star reviews. Just like you like getting reviews, I like getting reviews too on my Etsy shop, but also on my podcast to let me know how I'm doing and that you guys are enjoying what I do and what I bring to the table each and every week. Hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.